Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dudeist Journey. I'm your host, the Reverend Phillip K. And first, before we start off, I'd like to remind folks that Dudeism is more of a philosophy than a religion. When that philosophy is taking it easy. And what we practice here is basically modern day Taoism. It's the art of peace. There is an art of wars, and so there is an art of peace. And we also like to remind folks that the reason I started this podcast here is because Dudeism has kind of helped me in my life. And, well, it's helped me to also study philosophy, religion, and science and find the connections. I lost my little brother in 2020, and then I lost my wife in 2022. So, yeah, I've been dealing with grief. And the problem is that they died around the holidays. So the last 3 months of the year are fucking tough for me. And I know I haven't really been producing or posting up because once again, this podcast here is an official online ministry. So congratulations, you went to church today. And we can accept donations. We got tax exempt status, so I have people on a board, and they remind me that like, hey, you haven't put up anything. What's going on? And I have whole episodes for the podcast written. I just haven't done it. I've just been dealing with, I guess, with grief, and just I've had a huge just lack of motivation, man. I've lost my passion, man. And I don't know if it's because, like, I put out this book about the real Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, Nicholas of Myra. It's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and I pushed it out there, and I put some money into advertising, and I was really excited about it, and I thought, that I'd, make my way up there, but sure enough, that did not happen, and I sold like 18 copies last year, and it was tough, man. It hurt, took a hit, and did not feel fun. So, I'm trying to get back on the horse. I'm trying to get back into things. It's just been really kind of wacky with how things have turned out, and but I've been trying stuff, man. Like I went out. I've been going to comedy shows. I love stand-up comedy. I've always wanted to do it. I've been told my whole life to be a stand-up comedian. But I didn't go down that path, and I'm tempted to right now. But anyway, so like I went and I saw Brian Posehn. He's one of my favorite comedians. I've seen him for a long time. He was a real nice guy. I gave him some free drugs, and got a picture and everything. And I saw Maria Bamford. Didn't get a picture with her. She kind of like I had a copy of her book, which is entitled "Sure, I'll Join Your Cult," and I wanted her to sign it. And I waited after the show, but homegirl ducked off. She ran off like a fucking raccoon going across the street, and she's going in between traffic. Like there is a fucking stoplight not 15 feet from her with a crosswalk and all that shit. No, she fucking goes across fucking moving traffic like a goddamn fucking squirrel. It was at that moment I realized it wasn't an act. So I was like, yeah, I did not get an autograph, needless to say. But I have just been dealing with a lot, trying to get things going. I mean, I hope you all had a good Christmas. We're all surviving winter storms and shit. And new presidents, and there was a TikTok ban, and then there wasn't. And fucking been a lot of crazy fucking shit going on, man. But this year, I know folks have been talking about, the new year. It's all about the new year resolutions, right? And so we've all got some. I think mine is I'm not gonna really try and date so much anymore. Like last year, I opened myself up to dating since my wife passed away. I promised my wife I would. I put myself out there, and I gotta tell you, man, fucking shit. So like I've been ghosted. I've been stood up. I got dumped on Father's Day. And just gotta take it back a step, you know what I mean? Gonna focus on me, focus on getting some stuff done. And my buddy will call me up and like, hey, let's go to this place and like, look for some ladies. And I'm just like, no, I'm sorry. I tried one dating website and all I did was get invited to a gangbang, and I didn't want to go to it. So, I mean, I think I probably would have gone, but like, I found out that they record everything. It's all like they're content creators, so like they're gonna be putting this out there. I'm like, I am not gonna be recorded. I'm sorry, I am not that fucking confident. My fucking hairy ass up there, Jesus God, no. So, yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of luck in the dating realm. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on me and try and put some stuff forward. I got a table at All Con over in Dallas, and we got a table at the Houston Horror Film Fest happening in August. Trying to look at some other places to go because me and my buddy, we saw like horror comics and, horror toys and things like that and scary stuff. And so we don't do too well at the typical comic conventions, it's a lot of family oriented stuff. So we're trying to branch out here to a different area. So we're going to give this a shot. See how it rolls. But right now I am trying to get back into things, back into the swing. And a lot of work to do, a lot of stuff to get done, and gonna try and be as productive as possible. But it can be tough being productive in a crazy world, and especially when you don't have any passion, man. I don't have passion for things. I'm like, where is it? Where to go? I gotta get it back. So I looked up a few things, and I'm a creative person, so I do creative stuff. So when you're a Dudeist, you turn to what's known as the Abide Guide, which is basically our kind of Bible in a sense. And if you turn to page 108, down here at the bottom, it talks about abiding lessons. And this one here is to stay creative in all that you do. I like this one. When you start to engage with your creative processes, it shakes up all your impulses, and they all kind of inform one another. So what's really cool about this little bit, it's absolutely true. It's like when you're doing something you're passionate about, all your senses, all your mind, all everything works together to get it done, man. I mean, you get that focus and that drive, and boom, knock that shit out. And then you feel great because you accomplished and you finished it and you got it all good and everything's all right. And it's like, all right, okay, do. This is some fun stuff, yeah. I know one thing that, oh yeah, man, I totally almost forgot about this. So, my buddy Stan, who I love to death, I helped him out after his roommate stole his TVs. I mean, he stole his TV and his kid's TV. What kind of a fucking nihilist piece of shit? So we helped him out, and he put me on this. He works for like a PR company. So he put out about my book. He put out a press release, and he got me an interview with a show called The Daily Flash that operates out of Florida. Now, I take a look at the Daily Flash, and they've got the typical kind of news program shows, and they've got some little clips and things like that. And then they had like these 45-minute interviews with like different people and stuff on certain subjects, right? So when they were telling me, hey, I got you in this interview with the Daily Flash, I'm like, sweet. He's like, all right, so this is what we're going to do, and da-da-da. Now, I thought that Florida was 2 hours ahead, but they're only an hour. And then, but anyway, they sent me the questions. So I got to questions, and there were 4 questions. And I'm thinking, okay, I got to fill up like 40 minutes of time with these 4 questions. So I put these paragraph fucking answers, huge answers in it. And I'm like, okay, we're going to fill up some time. I can put in some stories, some anecdotes. I got some pictures together that I can share because it's all through Zoom. So I'm like, I got this all fucking set and ready. Then the day for the interview comes, and it's for the Christmas show, and they film it a week ahead of time. So it's a week before Christmas, and I set up my computer, my laptop, my background. I try and get everything all set and ready. microphone and everything, clothes and hat. But I'm sitting here at 5:30 a.m. like ready to do the interview, and nobody's on, nothing's happening, da da da. And I'm like, maybe it is only an hour and not 2 hours. And I fucking check, and sure enough, they're only an hour ahead. So that means that I got to be on, ready to go at 6:30 a.m. as opposed to 5:30 a.m. But I'm already awake, dressed, da da da. But here's the thing: I got to get my kids out. So I get my kids to the bus, and then I right around 6:30, and I have to run back home, and then sit down and do this interview. And so I'm sitting here, and I'm like trying to calm myself down because, like I said, it's probably going to be like an hour interview, right? Well, the producers get on and they're like, "Oh, hey, Reverend Phillip, nice to meet you." And I'm like, "Great." They said, "Okay, Reverend Phil, you're going to have about 3 minutes, and we'll let you know when you're on beforehand. And you're going to see this image when you got about 30 seconds left." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Wait, did that motherfucker say 3 minutes?" And I'm like, "What the fuck? I got 4 questions. How the fuck am I going to do 4 questions in three fucking? But what the fuck is this shit?" So I'm fucking sweating balls. Like, I'm looking at my fucking paragraph answers, and I'm like, fuck, I wrote an essay for a fucking, multiple choice fucking question here. So I'm trying to sum up all my fucking answers, like, really quickly, and then boom, I'm on, I'm talking. I mean, I just went through as quickly as I could. It ended up being under 6 minutes, which they said was great. But, I don't know if they wanted 3, but they were cool with 6. Everything was cool. So I was like, okay, great. So we got done with the interview, and then it was like, phew, rush, done, tension gone. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I posted a couple TikTok videos, which I now have to put onto YouTube because I really want to try and push more onto YouTube, man. Because I love YouTube. I fucking love YouTube. So I'm pushing more towards them. But it was fucking crazy, and I'll definitely try and put some stuff up. I'm going to try to get the audio of the interview, and I can play it later here on the podcast so you guys can hear it. There was a part where me and the host kind of jumbled up a little bit back and forth, but I'll just cut that part out. But anyway, it was from what everyone told me, the interview was good. So I'm like, okay, great, because I was nervous as fuck. Them throwing that fucking curveball shit at me, I don't know. And then I was thinking maybe I should like actually do a part where I tell you the paragraph answers as opposed to the quick 5-second ones. What was it, 5 seconds? But you know what it is. But yeah, so I've been going through some craziness, and but even then, the video didn't result in any book sales. It's been tough, man. I've been kind of hit, and it sucks. And like, you have these moments, especially when you're an artist, an indie artist, where you just like, anything I make is going to be shit. Like, you feel like you've already failed before you started. And I'm trying to look at like, hey, at least you sold, 18, motherfucker. Hey, it could have been 0. You got 18, do another book, let's see what happens. And the next book is a romance, and that's the big moneymaker in books, is romance. Romance and self-help are literally the biggest booksellers. I can't believe that's true, but it's true. You think with how popular Stephen King is, but no, it's romance. Ladies love the romance, and then sexy steamy scenes. So I'm gonna write some sexy steamy scenes. Well, I mean, it's like I got 3, but it's I didn't realize that most romance novels usually only have 1. It's like a whole build-up story to it and shit. I get it. But I'm trying to find my passion again, man. I'm going through the shadow journal workbook thing, man. I'll do a whole podcast on that shit when I get done with it. But I'm going through that shit right now, just trying to, like I said, man, I'm dealing with a lot of pain. Like, I'm broken, man. I'm fucking broken. I mean, the love of my life died in my arms. You don't just get over that shit. So I just kind of admit it, like, I'm broken, man. And I think that's probably why I haven't really found anybody, because it's like, I'm fucked up. I got baggage, man. It's not a pretty sight under the hood, dude. Car runs good, but fuck. There is some crap under the hood you may not want to see. So, trying to work on myself, trying to get myself back in back in the saddle, so to speak, get back on top. Because it's like, I'm making money in my investments, so you'd think I was happy as could be. But I mean, when I started, I was happy for like a week. Now I just feel like shit. And I'm making even more money than when I first started. But I'm trying to get my passion back, man. So I was looking through and I was feeling that quote from the Abide Guide about my creative flow and everything, and using all my creative processes to get my body and my focus, everything to work as one. But I sat there and I asked myself, so what is passion, man? And I looked it up, and it said passion is a strong emotion that is barely able to control. Like, it just overcomes you, man. Right? And we've all felt passion in the heat of the moment. Or perhaps a little passion in the bedroom, speaking of romance novels. So I'm thinking of, like, because I know what my passion is. All right, my passion is writing and creating stuff. That's really my passion, man. Like doing this here, right now, this podcast, creating this, and making this is part of my passion right here. Can't exactly, turn it into a profitable job, but, it's what I love to do. And I remember George Lucas was like, if you have trouble finding your passion, this is what you do. Start working on something. No, wait. Back up. Reverse edit. What he said was that if you start working on something at 7 a.m. and you go down to get something to eat because you're hungry, and it's 7 p.m. at night, you found your passion. Like, whatever that was that you were doing, spending all that time on, to the point that you didn't even care to eat, that's your passion. That's what you need to do. So I'm like, all right, I feel you. Okay. Now, there's a lot of different passions, of course, that people have, and I've got some. Like I said, I like to draw, I like to write, I like the arts, I like painting. But we lose this passion often. Typically, there's obstacles that come up. You got blockers, burnout, pressure. Sometimes you get that what's known as that brain fog, man, where it's like you're just going through a haze and you can't really get that focus. You start feeling like a slug, and you're just kind of like living to live, going through the motions kind of shit. I know I've had burnout before. It's been tough. And you need to take a fucking break, usually. So, what can we do to regain our passions? Well, I've got 5 steps here from this psychologist here. I believe I got this from psychology.com. But this is from a doctorate, and this is where, like I said, if you go to terms religions, they'll tell you to pray and take a walk in the park and spend some time with God. But I was like, we need an actual process proven by science that can really help. And I'm sure part of that, that is part of it. But let's take a look here, dudes. So let's find out how you can regain your passion when you've lost it, man. So let's go to the first number one thing you should do in this process, dudes. And that is you should reflect. Okay. What does that mean exactly? Well, think why you were interested in this to begin with. Okay? That usually it helps you to find the root of the problem, dudes. Okay? Why are you doing this? Of all the fucking things in the goddamn world to do, why the fuck are you doing this? And for me, it's always like writing stories, whether it's through comics or novels or film or whatever. I like to fucking tell stories because that's what I grew up. We admired storytellers, There was a time before the days of radio and newspaper and print and shit that if you wanted a story, there would be storytellers that would go around from house to house, and in exchange for a meal, they would tell you some big grand story. So I want to be a storyteller because I love telling stories. That's why I got mainly into like the best way, the fastest way I found to do it is through being a writer, because it's just me and the computer. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about working with anybody else. I can do it all on my own. So get back to that root, dude. Get back to that source, man, to that first day where you found the passion, you found that fire that you really wanted. You got to get back to that, man. The reason why can help push you forward to the next step. Now, the second suggestion here, the second step here to regain our passion, is that maybe you just need to try something new. Okay? So, maybe it's a new drug. But what this is saying is step outside the comfort zone for a moment. Okay, dude? All right? Just step outside for a moment. And think on other topics. Maybe try a different activity, maybe a different field of study. Just like take yourself away. And this is to kind of help with like the burnout, man. Because when you're working on something all the time, and you're working and working and working and working, and the shit just is not flowing, or it's not happening like the way you thought, it's just like, what the fuck kind of shit. And so you start to get burned out. I know that's what happened with me. I was just like, well, man, this shit ain't fucking happening, man. It's like I'm putting all this fucking work in with the book and with this and that, and I ain't getting those fucking sales, man. I am not getting, I'm not getting the success that I thought that I was gonna get. It's just not happening here. So it really starts to kind of hit you. And what I've done is I kind of stopped, and I'll take a break, and I'll put an interest in, like, I'll do a painting, or I'll write something else, I'll work on some other kind of thing or something, or I'll play video games. Video games are a fun thing because I like puzzles. A lot of video games, it's all about puzzles, man. And so this is a way for you to, like I said, just take a moment, man, and just step back. You got other skills, you got other things you do. Work on those for a minute, okay? Like, I'm also remodeling my bathrooms. I'll stop and work on the fucking bathroom remodel here. It's only been a fucking year. Okay. So, that's a whole other podcast in itself. Every time I fix something in this fucking bathroom, I find something else wrong. I find 12 other fucking things that need to be fixed. I'm like, God fucking damn it. But hey, I'm bringing it up to code. All right, so the third little step here in regaining our passion is purpose. All right, so what do I mean by purpose there? All right, so what it is we want to realign your purpose with your focus, dude. All right, we want you to focus on that passion. Give that reason for your passion, like remember we did in step 1. All right, so this is the goal, dude. All right, this is the thing that needs to be done. All right, so you got to like reset it here. And so that's really what I'm in the process of right now, is realigning myself. Okay, so Nicholas didn't do as well. Well, let's go to the next book. Let's step away from it. Let's go into something else. We know what we want to do. We want to tell stories. Let's just tell a different story and focus on that one. And let's see where that one goes. And hopefully that brings into something and goes out there, because there's a lot of fucking books out there. So you have to remember that, you're kind of, I'm doing this to tell these stories because I don't want to die with these stories in my head, man. After seeing and losing people that, like, you love and stuff, man, it just, you start to realize, like my little brother was an amazing musician, but we don't have any recordings of his music. Those songs died with him, man. I don't want that to happen to me, man. So don't let your songs die in you, okay? You got a purpose, all right? Align it with your focus. You can do it. All right, which goes into the fourth step here. And this is one of my important steps when you're trying to regain your passion and you're trying to avoid the burnout and shit. The fourth step is, you guessed it, take it easy, dudes, all right? That's the Dudeist philosophy right here. Recommended by psychologists, man, and doctors. They're going to tell you here, you got to take a break. Go for a walk. See a fucking movie. Hell, go bowling and have a drink. All right? You got to do something every day. Every fucking day. Do something that helps you kind of reignite that passion, man. All right? Something that's going to help you. One thing, like, I'm part of a Ghostbuster cosplay group. and I love these guys. They're like my friends. They've been like family. And so our leader Chris, he had a birthday. You know, we all got together at one of these free play places and hung out and shit. I went at like they had pizza on the menu. They're personal pizzas. But I was like, okay. So I ordered 4 of these pizzas. Now, at another free play, I ordered pizzas, and they were a decent size. They were like, DiGiorno size, basically. These motherfuckers, $11 I paid for 4 pizzas, damn near $50 with tax. I paid for 4 pizzas, and these motherfuckers were, I mean, Jesus Christ. I have shit bigger than these fucking pizzas. They were fucking small. I mean, I'm talking like those little personal, like 4-inch, fucking pizzas, man. It's like, man, my dick's bigger than these pizzas. Like, it was like, fuck. So I passed those out, was like, share, like, it's like, man, we got fucked. This is some bullshit. And then I fucking got a drink from the bar, and it was $9, and they didn't have a tap, so they just had a can of Coke, and they poured it, because I got a rum and Coke. So they poured the Coke in there, and they charged me like $10, and I was like, hey, can I have the rest of the Coke in the can? And they said, no, we need that for other drinks. I'm like, oh, it's that kind of bar. Okay. And I was like, you know what? I'm keeping this fucking glass. Shit, I paid $10 for it. Keeping it. So yeah, man, take it easy. Go out and have some fun. Take a break from it. This is one of the things I know that's helped me avoid burnout, is that you just got to take a break. And this can kind of help recharge the batteries, dude. All right? Recharge it. All right? It can help. It can totally help. And then here we go on to the fifth, the last thing that you can do to help regain your passion is to find you some inspiration, man. Find the things that first started your passion, you can try a journal, maybe a new class, maybe a new strain of cannabis. You never know. Like, maybe a new drug, going to help you out. Because we here at Dudeism totally condone alcohol and drug use. As, done responsibly, of course. So definitely find like some inspiration. I know for me as a writer, I'll read. I'll go back to some of my favorite books and I'll read them. Or I'll find a new book that, totally just grab some random book and just start reading that one. Things like this that can help, man. So take time to reflect. Try a little something new. Realign your purpose. Take it easy. And always have that inspiration there with you, dudes. It's going to help, man. And I got to say, I'm doing a lot of these steps to help me. Because I don't want to do shit. Like, there's a lot of creative things that I want to do and these other ventures. Because like I said, I've been doing these cons and I'm barely breaking even. And I'm trying to push the books and I ain't selling shit. So I'm just like, fuck all. But these things here have been helping me because I have been going back being like, why am I doing this? What's the purpose of it? Let me, try a little something different. I'll paint. I'll play a video game or just write up in a journal. Find what the purpose is of all this is again, which for me is to tell these stories so I don't die with them. Doing my best to kind of take it easy and definitely trying to look at things that inspire me, things that kind of inspire my brain to write more stories. Because the thing is that when I'm not writing, my brain is still creating stories. So I'm still writing stories and new outlines and new characters while I'm trying to, well, I got to finish all this other shit. I literally have probably 60 books and counting now. Because I'll take months like with this other story coming up in my head while I'm trying to write the other one. It's madhouse in here, man. Got to realign it, adjust it, set it right, focus it. So let's go ahead. Why don't we take a little time here for ourselves? Let's take 5 minutes, dude. Let's just take 5 minutes. I want you to relax, chill out, just take it easy for just 5 minutes and think about your passion. And what you've got in your life, maybe you got something that you're trying to figure out and do, something that you're trying to, just like, all right, get back on the horse with, okay? So I think this kind of stuff there that can help. So let's just take 5 minutes to think about that, and we'll go ahead and we'll start that 5 minutes right now. you took that 5 minutes to kind of help find your passion again, and I hope that these steps can help move you along, man. And I hope a little quote here in word from the old Abide Guide can help inspire you to go ahead and keep on going. Because it's tough out there, man. World's fucking crazy, and this fucking life, man, this world will beat you to your fucking knees and keep you there if you let it. So don't, man. Get the fuck up. Do what you want to do. Live your fucking life, man. Because you only get this ride once. Well, I want to thank y'all guys for tuning in. We'll have a little commercial that I paid for at the end of the show here. But thanks a lot for listening. And when you go out there into this world, I hope you learn to take it easy. Because when you take it easy, the dude abides. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you all next time. Later.
From author Reverend Phillip K. comes your next must-read book, Nicholas of Myra, a novel, available on Amazon. In Nicholas of Myra, a novel, immerse yourself in the life of the man we all know as Santa Claus. From the loss of his parents to being raised on a farm by his uncle, Nicholas's early life was marked by challenges. His journey led him to the Christian temple in Myra, where he became bishop in a time when Christianity was forbidden in the Roman Empire. Experience Nicholas's profound strength as he faces arrest, persecution, and the unimaginable loss of his loved ones. Despite being tortured and imprisoned, his unshakable faith and his message of love, compassion, and generosity shine as a beacon through the darkness. Nicholas of Myra, a novel, is a journey through history, revealing the roots of Christmas and its traditions. It's a story of faith that endures against all odds. Available in Kindle, paperback, and Kindle Unlimited. Nicholas of Myra, a novel from author Reverend Phillip K. Order your copy right now and discover the story of a lifetime.